All right, everyone, welcome back to the Dead Pundits Society. So today we're going to be doing a part two to a video we posted last week about hot takes. So everyone's going to share a somewhat controversial opinion, and we're all going to have a discussion about it. So just the same as last week, someone's just going to go ahead and say the hot take. We'll see what the reactions are kind of off the rip, and then that person will have 30 seconds to a minute to defend their view. So, yeah, without further ado, let's start with Jake today.
All right, so my hot take today is that Eden Hazard is the third best winger in Premier League history behind Ronaldo and Salah, and the closest dribbler to Messi that we've ever seen, excluding Maradona. So I'm excited for this one. I think it'll be a little bit contentious because there's been a lot of good wingers in the Premier League. So it's heavy, and I'm not going to rank him above Salah or Ronaldo. But before I even defend him, actually, I want to hear some first initial reactions to that claim.
I think
Yeah,
Julian
yeah.
had a pretty, yeah, go
I
for it.
I just have a question. How are we defining dribbling, right? Because is it in terms of like just actual ball keeping ability, or are we talking about taking players on, or just everything combined? Because when you say that he's second to none barring Messi, that's
Well,
that's bold, bro. That is a
no,
bold statement.
what I said was he's the closest to Messi that we've ever seen. Not counting, I mean Maradona, I think, there you can obviously draw comparisons. I'm saying the closest to like Messi's style of dribbling that he's so infamous for, that's probably like his number one most recognized trait. I think Hazard is the closest I've ever seen a player come to emulating that.
But you did say that he's behind Salah and Ronaldo in terms of best wingers.
In Premier League history, I think
Mhm.
he's the third best overall,
Okay, but
only behind Salah and CR7, yes.
oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't hate that first part of the take, to be honest. Like, what do you got? Like, who? It depends,
Yeah.
because are we considering David Beckham as some people would consider him like a right mid? So, like,
I
you
mean,
could make an
even
argument
if
that
we
he's
consider
both
David
ways.
Beckham a winger, I agree that Hazard was better. I honestly, the first part, I agree with you, Pablo. I don't
Yeah,
see that much contention. It's that second part where I'm a
I
bit
think this,
like,
yeah, the second
excuse
Okay,
part is
me,
a
then
bit more
yeah.
contentious.
like,
then maybe let me say fine. I'll clarify it. If you're agreeing with me, which I'm surprised by, that he's the third best winger, only behind Salah and Ronaldo, I thought that would be contentious. But I'll clarify by saying, and this is where it gets dicey. I think he's the best left winger in Premier League history, meaning Salah and Ronaldo, when they played when they play and are playing in the Premier League, have only played right wing. So I think Eden Hazard is the best, not only played, sorry, but that
well,
was their dominant position, was the right
I,
wing.
I would just interject and say that yeah, Ronaldo was playing right wing, but he was interchangeable. I think that like that 2007, 2008, he was really given like a free like roaming kind of
Yeah.
position between like
That's
striker and left
fair.
wing. So like there, I don't know. That would be the beginning of my contention because like I don't, I still count. I think like Ronaldo's best season in a United kit was when he was playing on the left. So I think that statement is a bit also a little bit bold. Um, but
Yeah.
again, top three for sure. Like I hands down, like I don't have any contention there. Alessandro, do you have anything?
No, I agree. I think top three for sure. Yeah, I mean, I always associate Ronaldo as being a left wing, but no, he did start out on the right wing at United. That is true, but. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I would agree with that. I don't think that's particularly controversial. But so you're taking out the dribbling, the second part of the dribbling.
No, I'm including that. I'll argue that, then that's more maybe because I'm the only like Julian and I are the only Premier League fans, but typically I've seen online there's a lot of discussion about whether Sadio Mane is better than him, whether these people like Giggs, like Beckham. So I thought it would be maybe more of a contentious take, but
The thing
evidently
is,
everyone agrees with me.
I
So
just I just don't consider Giggs as a winger in that sense. Like the position
Yeah.
was very different when he was playing. So I'm not saying that Hazard is a better player than Giggs because that's kind of depends on what factors you choose to include for that. But I just think yeah, it's hard to compare. I would definitely say Mane is not better than Hazard. I think that's pretty heinous. Like only a Liverpool fan would say that.
I was
But
gonna was the thing is like Sadio Mane's the best player in the world.
yeah.
I'll say it again.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean that like he's never been the best player in the world, in my opinion. Like let's just
All
get
right,
into
fine.
that.
Then I'll get into the second one. All right. So I'll expand on the second claim, which is that Eden Hazard is the closest dribbler to Messi that I've ever seen, excluding Maradona. And I'll explain why I think this. The thing is with dribblers, there's a lot of different types, right? You've got Neymar, who was like a flair dribbler. You had Robin, who was this like extremely fast, like cut in. You have Mbappe, who's obviously very like a pace based and he like stops and runs. Ronaldinho, who does his tricks and is also very talented. But what I mean is Eden Hazard, in terms of when I watch a player, regardless of their position, pick up the ball and use their body the way they do the little body feints, the micro touches, um, like beating a man, using their gravity against them. He's the closest I've ever seen to Messi, and I like can't think of anyone that's more similar to Messi in that style.
I'll throw in one name there. I think Dybala comes close in terms of the way he uses his body. You know,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
small. I mean, I think for a number of years, he had well, I think with Insigne, it was him and Insigne were the two top dribblers in Serie A. So, in terms of the way they use their body, the micro touches, getting fouled. I mean, was always getting Dybala, same kind of style of dribbling. That's the only other player I can think of off the top of my head who would
yeah.
Yeah.
come close to
I mean, the
Yeah,
Hazard.
thing is, I
Yeah.
I don't think it's a particularly hot take in my opinion because what the way you phrase it, you're saying the most similar to Messi, and I agree. Like Hazard has a pretty similar dribbling style to Messi. Again, like Alessandro said, I'd argue Dybala has a similar style as well, which is more the whoever's more similar. I guess that's kind of subjective. But if you had phrased the question like he's the best dribbler since Messi, I would say
yeah,
maybe you have people like Ronaldinho in there, like other players are in the mix, right? But
Yeah.
the thing is, he does have a similar style, right? So I don't disagree with that necessarily.
Well, then what I mean is that's tough. For me, it's hard to compare him. Granted, we're getting a little off topic here. Maybe that's my fault for making a take that was more chilled than I thought and has more agreement than I anticipated. But it's hard to compare like a Hazard's dribbling to like a Ronaldinho or a Neymar. But the reason I compare it to Messi specifically um, is not only about like their body types and the way that they use it, but like even the way he would do successful dribbles and the ability to just like take a moment and be the system for the team. Like Chelsea, a lot of people will talk about Chelsea, and I do because I'm a Chelsea fan. Chelsea under Mourinho, Chelsea under Conte. But in like his 2014-2015 season, where he was the Premier League Player of the Year, Hazard at some points, the entire Chelsea plan on offense was give him the ball and literally let him do whatever he wants. And that's pretty rare nowadays in football in terms of seeing that. And Messi's one of the only other players, and he's one of the greatest players of all time that's ever been given just free reign on offense. Literally take the ball, do what you want. If you want to try and like dribble a guy, go for it. If you want to shoot, go for it. So that's how I think of Hazard, if that makes sense.
That's
yeah. I mean,
fair. Oh, sorry,
I
no,
would
Julian.
no, I would just say something. It seems like the question is like it's more coming like Hazard has the most similar style to Messi, which like I don't know. But if we're talking like in terms of like dribbling and yeah, end product. Again, maybe I'm just interpreting the question. So actually, like yeah, I'll just say if terms of similarity, like I think like it's covered. I think yeah, in terms of being that free reign, like there's similarities there as well. But like yeah, I don't know. Something still feels just wrong with him. Like because it feels like the question is kind of saying like bar Messi, he's up there with one of the most like effective dribblers which I would
I think
argue.
he is. I think he is one of the
Well,
most
okay, when you
effective
say
dribblers
effective
ever.
dribbling, right? Like, what's the end product of dribbling? Is it just to take on a man and beat a
No,
man? Because if so, I would like hands down. I would argue like Neymar is by far the better dribbler for me personally in terms
I
of him
don't.
taking on a
And
man
yeah.
and beating a man. But like that's the thing. Hazard combine that with like an end product, right?
No, what I mean is Hazard led the Premier League in like dribbles per 90 and like percentage success rate for I think 5 or 6 seasons. And at one
Yeah,
point, and again, this sounds like I'm taking a shot at Arsenal in that Premier League Player of the Season, he literally was averaging more successful dribbles than their entire squad at one point. But It's hard. I'll say compact dribbling, right? Like compact space dribbling when you're in a tight space, escaping angles, turning in pressure, like using your ass, absorbing contact. I think he's for me in that case, I would put him way above Neymar and these other guys for that type of dribbling. But it's hard to say dribbling overall, right? Because it's a
Yeah,
different style.
yeah, it's tricky. No, yeah, honestly, I don't know if anyone else has anything to add.
Anyways, maybe I'm really surprised that this third best winger in the league history was not more contentious
I
because a
mean,
lot of
yeah.
diehard fans, no one even brought up Gareth Bale, which I'm shocked about. Like,
Well, Gareth
but
Bale just had like one or two, I'd say two or three good seasons, right? Hazard had that longevity. Whereas, like, I would say Bale's peak was better than Hazard's, but Hazard had longevity. Like that one 2012,
oh,
2013,
that's
bro.
hard.
He scored like 26 goals. Like that, he single-handedly carried. Like there was also times I remember when the team strategy was just give the ball to Bale. But anyways, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's another hot take. Like maybe you could say that Bale's peak was the best winger in Premier League history. Like that would
I
be
don't think that's even a
Well,
hot take. I think that's facts, bro.
but
I think
I mean,
I don't think he was the best. It's definitely up there though.
well, okay, Salah's peak season
I
was
was gonna say Salah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but
That's true. Actually, I agree. I agree.
yeah, but Bale did so much more than just goals and assists as well. Like Salah, if he doesn't score and he doesn't assist, like what does he do really? I mean, I'm not saying he's
But
overrated
isn't
or
that a
anything,
winger's
but the
wingers?
thing
That's
is,
what
That's
we're
kind of
talking about.
that's the main metric by which
Yeah,
you
yeah,
exactly,
but he
bro.
doesn't
well,
participate in the game. Like Bale, like
If you take
does.
no,
away
no,
If you take away the defending from Maldini, then what does he have, right? He's well, you know what I mean? My
No,
grandmother
no,
had
I
a
know, but I mean, if you're assessing a player as a whole, you need to keep that into account.
sure.
yeah. Anyways, my I guess yes, I'm talking from a stylistic point of view and an eye test point of view. So maybe that's hard to judge, but in that case, maybe if I pivot it, I would say if you guys were to rank these players at their peak as a quick subcategory, how do you rank then Hazard, Robben, and Gareth Bale?
Oh, you're not gonna like this, Jake, but for me, it's Bale, Robin, Hazard. If we're taking only peak, personally.
I'm agreeing with that, if I'm
I
being
don't
honest,
agree
bro.
with that.
I think I'm gonna go the same.
Damn, there's no way. No, man. Okay, well then maybe that should have been my pick. I would go. I would agree with the Bale shout because Prime Bale was crazy, like actually crazy. But I would take Prime Hazard if we're talking about like a single
Peak.
player at their peak. I'm taking Hazard over Robin, man. Like the ability to turn the game on its head. At one point, at one point he had more man of the matches than like certain like elite players had goals and assists. He was the
Yeah.
most fouled player for like 6 seasons in a row. I don't know.
I mean, the most fouled player, like that doesn't really like that. That's not
Yeah,
a
it does
statistic
though. It does mean something because the only reason he gets fouled so much is because he was literally unstoppable.
I
And the whole
agree, but
strategy was
but
bring
the
him
thing
down.
is, if you look at, I agree that Hazard at his peak was insane, but look at Robin in that 2012-13 season when Bayern Munich won the treble. Like there were people
Okay.
that said that he should
So
have won the Ballon d'Or that year.
yeah, no. Okay, I was just checking that, right? Because I was trying to think like that. Like that 2012, 2013 stands out to me.
I think
Read out some of the stats. I know stats aren't everything. Stats aren't
no, but I
everything.
think I
But
think
like
Hazard's
13
yeah,
goals, all competitions.
but I think Hazard's 2018-2019 season, which was his last season at Chelsea, I think that eclipses that season for sure. When
Yeah.
we won
Plus
the Europa
also
League and when
he
he
was
was under
injured. Like
Sarri, he was
I would
insane.
just add, Robin was injured half of that season for 2012, 2013. So
But he was
I
also
don't.
playing in a much less, and this is where it's going to get dicey, but a way less competitive league. If we're talking about the Bundesliga in that time period versus Premier League during the prime duopoly of Manchester City and Liverpool, bro, it's not even like this isn't a question. I'm sorry.
I mean, for me, like the way I ranked it is for me, Bale is clear. Like he's so far ahead of the as a prime, only a peak, right? And then the other two, like it's not. I don't think it's heinous to put Hazard above Robin. I would personally put Robin better just because I feel like I've seen a lot more, or as a child, I saw more clips of him tearing defenses apart. But again, that just might be my experience, right?
What? But
But
you've
the
been
fact that,
older when Hazard's been in his peak. So if
but
anything, you should have
also,
seen Hazard do it more.
and the fact that three people agreed with this, like I feel like that, and the one that doesn't agree is a Chelsea fan. I think there's something to that, you know?
No, I mean, again, maybe this should have been my hot take then. I'm just saying, and I'm not discrediting Robin. I rank him really highly, and eventually we're gonna do our wingers tier list, and I'll see, like, you'll see how highly I rank him. I just, yeah, I would rank him above him if we're
I
talking
think
about prime.
I think the thing about Robin and Bale too, that I think, I mean, he's for me, Bale especially because of all his season and all his accolades at Real Madrid and that kind of being in, arguably one of the best teams ever, and then Robin too being part of that, also one of the best teams in the Bundesliga and having that kind of legacy and stature and them being such central players in that. I think Hazard, in terms of raw pure talent, I would maybe agree that he had something over them. I mean, in terms of that, but I think when you look at it as a whole, those two players in those specific teams in those years and all of what they won, I think it's hard to put Hazard above that. That's the way at least I see it in terms of, but raw talent, yeah, I mean, Hazard is, yeah, like
It's interesting, Yeah, fair enough. And that answers my question. I should have tailored my take. I'm very surprised by this agreement on the third place thing, but you know what? I'll take it. That's upscale agenda for Eden Hazard.
All right. Yeah, so I think let's move on to the next hot take. I think Julian had an interesting one and he wasn't on the show last week, so I'd be interested to hear
Uh,
his.
so yeah, I had two, but I'll go with one, because I think the other one is going to be hard to defend because I think I'm going to need some like dedicated research. But I'll take the one that I think I can defend more prominently, let's say. So gotta clarify the phrasing, yeah. So I think that Didier Drogba is not a top 10 Premier League striker of all time. That's my take. And I'll lay some of my bases to that. I'm talking strictly Premier League because there's no question that in terms of cups and yeah, cup finals, I know you had that crazy record at Wembley, Champions League, no doubt. In my mind, crazy. Crazy cup performer. When it came to the big games, he went crazy. But if we're talking strictly Premier League, barring 2 seasons where he scored over 20 goals, his output, not as impressive. Plus, I don't think he played a big role in, apart from those 2 seasons, in Chelsea winning those other two Premier Leagues that he won, I think, in 2004 to 5 and 2014 to 15.
No, he wasn't there for 14, 15. He
He
left
was,
the.
he was,
Oh,
he,
sorry, he was. He came.
yeah.
You mean in his second stint? Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And so,
yeah.
like, he won 4 Premier Leagues, right? Which is an impressive feat. And as I said, 2 of those seasons, magnificent. But I think that there are 10 strikers more that warrant more credibility in terms of their, yeah,
No,
ability in the Premier League and their stature within the Premier League.
Okay,
that's fair. I saw Jake go through
you
the 5 stages of grief while you were reading out
because
that
he's
statement.
moving. He's moving the goalpost. Like I don't even know where to start with this claim. The thing that he's not a. So I'll just start with that he's not a top 10 striker. And sorry to just take this right off the bat, Pablo and Alessandro. I just feel compelled to respond. The I'm going purely based off the claim that he's not a top 10 Premier League striker. And so I tried to just take that. I genuinely can't name 10 strikers that are better than him. I can probably name about five or six, like
Yeah.
off the top of my head. But
Yeah.
I think Drogba's like for me confidently in that like 6 to 9 territory. Like I definitely don't think I can name 10 strikers better
I
than
mean,
him.
let's try that now. Let's see. So you could say Alan Shearer for sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
Thierry Henry.
Erling Haaland, probably.
Yeah.
I
I would
Uh,
say
mean,
Erling Haaland. In terms of striking ability, I mean, dude, he is top scorer ever, as in like within a season. Like that already warrant maybe.
Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney
Sir,
is not like a
not a
out and out
strike.
striker, but
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to
He was a
call it that,
striker. He was
yeah.
a striker. That
Sergio
era where
Aguero.
Ron Drogba. Yeah,
Sergio
Sergio
Aguero.
Yeah, I
Aguero,
would agree with Sergio
Van
Aguero.
Persie.
Luis Suarez.
Wait, who did you
Bro, I mean,
say?
his longevity is not there at all, though. Like, he played for 2 seasons.
Yeah, but that one season, that peak though.
Okay, this is great. You know Drogba, you know, okay, fine. Now we're getting into another thing. This claim, I'm gonna dissect the goals thing. You do realize he held the record for the most like goals until it was broken. Sorry, apart from
Sure.
no, apart from like most goals in a single season, I mean. Apart from when CR7 had it, Drogba in like 2009, 2010 had 29 league goals for Chelsea under Ancelotti.
Like you're talking within a 38 game
Yeah, a
season.
38 game season. Like
For sure, for sure.
obviously
But by that measure, then Diego Costa should also rank pretty highly in the like all-time Premier League because he had a crazy peak as well, right? In 2016, 17. Like that's my argument. Like Drogba, that season, incredible. That like don't go wrong.
it's not
But like his Premier League stature is based off of two really good seasons. But beyond that, I don't know, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
bro, what? First of all, okay, fine, fine. I'm gonna let the other guys respond. But the other issue is, and this is where fine, I'm gonna get into the actual technical aspect of Chelsea. And I hope that Pablo's like gonna defend me here. Because maybe I don't know how much he watched the Premier League in the 2000s, but Drogba played in the defensive era and literally sacrificed goals for Chelsea's system. Like Chelsea's system was built around having this defensive unit and not like inflating the attacking stats, right? And Drogba actually, fun fact, was the one who broke the like meta, let's call it, of having a two striker formation. He was the guy that came in and literally was the one that played as a sole striker, the
oh,
sole number nine.
yeah.
Before that, the Premier League was full of these duos, right? Like Henry and Bergkamp and all of these other pairs from the 90s that played together. Drogba was like the hold-up man and
Yeah.
gave up, sacrificed his own goal scoring to enable the rest of the team while still bagging like 15, 20 goals a season.
Well, the 20 goals is only done twice. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, uh,
Alessandro, do you want to add anything to that?
I don't know. I mean, I have to. I agree that I mean, th those 2 seasons, and I think he does have his stature depends a lot on those 2 seasons. But I agree with Jake. I find it very hard to name more than 10 strikers who are better than Drogba. I mean,
You could say Andy Cole, who's probably better than Drogba.
Robin van Persie, I'd argue
No,
Yeah,
better.
God.
Bro, Robin van
yeah,
Persie, 2, 3 seasons where
I
he had close
also
to 30 goals. Like
I also do
he
those
has a
Zoom
good argument.
about
He made a good argument with like being as part of a Chelsea side that were more focused defensively than offensive output, right? Like that is a fair argument and one that I haven't considered. So like put my hands up that is like concession, but still
Carlos Tevez probably ranks
no,
ahead of him.
no, no. Okay, now you're just trying to rage bait. That's not gonna work. There's no way.
The only thing that I just want to add that,
Harry Kane was a better
yeah,
striker.
Harry Kane for
Yes, of
sure.
course. The second top goal scorer in Premier League
Yeah,
history. Yes, of
yeah.
course, Harry
But I
Kane.
think that dude, that's like 9 or 10 we've already named, bro.
That's
Teddy
not nine or
Sheringham.
10. No,
Yeah, sure. He was
I
pushing
wouldn't
it,
say
bro.
Sheringham, but 10 is crazy. Not top five is like I definitely agree with, but 10 is crazy, Julian.
I've compiled the list.
Bro, you guys started naming fucking scrubs, man.
Well,
Like
like
No, bro.
Teddy
Okay.
Sheringham is so
Okay.
good.
Listen. Yeah.
you
10
guys start
things. 10
naming
things.
scrubs that
10
can't
things.
wax
No, no,
rug
no,
their
no, no, no,
boots,
no, no, no,
bro.
no. Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry, Sergio Aguero,
Yeah,
Harry Kane,
I agree with those.
Robin van Persie,
No.
Wayne Rooney,
Yep, he's not a pure striker, but sure, I'll give that one to you. Yeah.
Erling Haaland.
Not yet. I mean, it's hard
Yes,
with an
yes,
active player. I
yes.
I wouldn't say yet,
And
but I
100%, 100%.
uh,
Wait, who have I mentioned? Wait, hold on. Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry, Sergio Aguero, Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney, Robin van Persie, Luis Suarez, Erling
no,
Haaland.
no.
Luis
Luis
Suarez?
Suarez
Dude,
was in the
no, come
league for
on,
two
bro.
seasons, bro. You can't. Oh my
Bro,
God. No.
but that peak though,
That's
bro.
like such a fucking like cop out. You can't that's moving the
Okay,
goalpost.
I
Fernando
got two more.
Torres.
I got two more, yeah.
Definitely
Wait, but
not.
are we live? So yeah, so we were basically saying one of the topics of discussion is that Jake said that we couldn't name 10 better Premier League strikers. So Julian's gonna try and do that really
All right.
quickly.
Christian Benteke. No,
No,
no, I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Okay. Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry, Sergio Aguero,
yeah,
Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney, Robin van Persie,
no,
Luis Suarez,
no,
Erling Haaland.
not yet.
This is where it's gonna get dicey. This is where it's gonna get dicey.
Fernando Torres.
Andy Cole for sure.
Andy
It's
Cole,
not even
Andy Cole,
close.
Andy
Guys,
Cole for sure. Andy Cole for
pause
sure.
for a second. This
No,
motherfucker
Andy
just said
Cole.
Fernando Torres. I'm actually gonna,
That
guys.
was not, that's
I'm
not
gonna
new. That was
cry. I'm
not,
actually gonna
I
crash
didn't say
out.
it.
There's
I
no
didn't
way.
say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say
Alessandro just said,
that.
"No, bro, no.
No,
Wrap
I
it
didn't
up.
say
Wrap
that.
the
I didn't
video
say
up."
that. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say
Nick
that.
Voldemade?
Nah, 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 nah. Okay, this is bad,
I
bro.
did it. I
So
Okay,
did
hey,
far,
listen,
yeah.
listen, listen, listen. This is gonna be controversial, but I'm gonna stand by it, yeah? For number 10. For number 10, Jamie
No,
fucking
never.
Vardy, bro.
No, no.
Jamie Vardy, bro. You can't, bro. He's 200, was it 200, 200 Premier League goals? No, 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 no.
No,
I'd say like
what?
150,
He
150.
scored more Premier League goals than Drogba though, for
Yeah, but
sure.
Drogba has 4 fucking Premier League titles,
But
multiple.
Bro,
Leicester's one that counts
two
for
of
like
them part bit
100.
player, bro. Two of them part bit player. I'd argue the 39 goal season, bro,
What are you
doesn't
talking about?
compare to Jamie Vardy's fucking season, bro, where he won the league, bro.
I
24
also
goals.
think I also do want to say I think it's a total cop out, Julian. Going back to like an actual argument, I think it's a total cop out to say this is only in Premier League, excluding any cup titles. Because you're excluding the most, in my opinion, and I'll fucking die on this hill. Maybe this should have been my hot take. The single most clutch big game Premier League striker of all time, and it's not even remotely close.
No, that's what
Didier
I'm saying,
Drogba's
bro.
goal
If we're talking
record
about clutch, if we're talking
in
about clutch,
finals.
like cups, bro, undoubtedly, bro. I'm putting my hands up. He was insane, arguably the most clutch player of all time. But the Premier League is not decided by clutch moments, bro. It's
I
decided by
mean, he scored in big
consistency.
games in the Premier League too. He didn't just score in big
Bro,
games in FA
it's
Cup,
true. It's true. He did. He did.
like
I'm not saying he's a bad
notorious.
striker, man. I'm not saying he's a bad striker. He's a good striker. I just can name 10, bro. I don't know, bro. 10 before him, bro. But look,
Also,
man, that's
the last thing I
that.
want to say about this topic, and Jake will appreciate it, is that when Mourinho joined Chelsea, they asked him which striker he wanted to sign out of all the strikers in world football, right? And he chose Drogba over all of those. So that's gotta mean something.
It's true. It's true. It's true, man. Clutch player. He won them trophies, that's for sure. Premier Leagues, I don't know. But anyways,
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
fair play, fair
Does
play.
anyone have something to add on this topic? Otherwise, I'm gonna bring the next one to the table. And my hot take is that Manchester United is closer to being the third biggest club in England than the first.
like currently as it stands.
No, just in general, like if you take Man United's history, they're closer to the third, being the third in all-time English clubs than first.
No.
Yeah, who
Bro,
but who is the like who I
So
think yeah,
I'm gonna just give some
Liverpool.
context.
Fine,
So
fine. Liverpool,
yeah,
yeah,
in my ranking,
but who's
Liverpool's
the
first.
second?
No, United is second, but what I'm saying is that they're closer to being third than first, right? So they're closer to like a
Bro,
Chelsea than a
who the fuck is
Liverpool.
third? Chelsea third. It's
Yeah,
Chelsea third.
Chelsea or Arsenal, like you can slice and dice however you want, but
Bro.
like
Okay.
Man United
Nah,
is
we can fucking
closer.
leave the room, bro. Fucking nah, bro. That's out. How many combined Champions League that the rest of the league has apart like the rest of all English clubs? So Nottingham Forest have one or
No,
two. Aston
Nottingham
Villa.
Forest have two.
Okay,
Chelsea has
Nottingham Forest
two.
has two. Aston
Chelsea
Villa
also
has
has
one.
two.
Chelsea has one. Man City has
We have
one.
two,
Chelsea has
bro.
two.
We have two.
You have two.
20, 2012 and 2021.
You have two.
And Man United have three, one of which was one in black and white. And you like don't even remember unless you like read the encyclopedia.
The Busby Babes, bro. The Busby Babes. That's 19. I want to say
68.
19. 19.
It's not at 68, I'm pretty sure, because Celtic was the first British club to win it the year before. But anyway, my point still stands. I think Man United are historically closer to Chelsea or Arsenal, whatever, than to Liverpool. Like I think Liverpool clears Man United, and it's not even close as the
Yeah, okay,
biggest
fine,
club
fine,
in.
fine. Look, I'll agree because they have equal amount of Premier Leagues, right? And also they have far more European Cups. But how many leagues does Chelsea have, bro? If we're talking strictly European Cups, I mean, yeah, fine. I'd
Nah,
argue
but
that that's closer. But like Chelsea's only had the last 20 years since Roman Abramovich has come in. Don't get me wrong, done bits, won hella trophies. But like I don't know, bro. That's a crazy statement. Like, if you just look at like the support, like worldwide and everything, like Chelsea doesn't even like I don't know compare in the slightest to Manchester United. I mean, what are the metrics are you using to compare this to say that United is closer to Chelsea than it is to
So
Liverpool?
the metrics are partly obviously trophies and partly the history, right? Because the thing is, United's history and of success is mostly concentrated around the Sir Alex Ferguson era, which granted was very successful. In 26 years, he won 13 Premier Leagues, he won a Champions League, he won a two Champions Leagues actually, and he won a plethora of other
I
trophies.
don't know,
But
bro. George Best, that whole era, bro. Like you're completely
but
saying
before
that
yeah,
that
but
wasn't a
before
successful era,
Before
no? Like what?
Ferguson, United had 7 Premier Leagues. That's as many as like Huddersfield Town has or
Yeah,
something.
but look, man, like those Premier Leagues were won within like a what? Like, okay, five were won between 51 to 67. I'd argue the same was won in Chelsea from what, 2023 to when was the last time they won it? 2017. Like that's a similar era. And that's the least significant era in United's history. And that's the same amount of Premier League trophies as Chelsea have won in their most significant.
Well, no, that's the mo
And I'm
that's a pretty
completely,
significant era in your
pardon?
history,
Yeah.
right? That's a pretty significant era in
You
United's
guys won
history.
multiple
But
titles.
I'm saying that pales in comparison to Ferguson's era, right? And you're saying
Yeah.
that like, oh, before Ferguson's era, there was like nothing before that. And I'm saying that United's least significant like trophy winning era is as big as
Well, I
uh
mean,
as Chelsea's biggest. So like that already shows the levels, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, I agree with you that like Liverpool, if we're talking like trophies and history, have a bigger thing, but I mean, if we're talking about biggest club, right? You're not just considering,
Fans.
you're also
You
considering,
also
yeah,
need fans
yeah,
because Manchester
exactly.
United has so many more fans than Liverpool. It is like if you go internationally, especially like in Asia, if you ask them, they like I would say like 70% say if we say a Premier League club, we're gonna say Manchester United.
And
70 or 80.
in
Bro,
Africa
case in
too, to be
fact, I'm
fair.
from
I don't
Singapore,
even know
bro.
why
What
I'm
team do I support?
Yeah, you're
United,
right.
bro. Who the fuck supports Chelsea, bro? No one supports Chelsea in Asia,
what a
bro.
stray, dude. I was
No,
I was
no.
backing you up and you just fired a crazy stray at me for no reason. Fuck you.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding. Nah,
I don't know. I tend to agree, but Dior, where do the fans follow the club that wins the trophies, right? So the fact that
there's no
United was
glory,
winning
bro.
means
There's no
we have more
glory in
fans.
United now, bro. Where's the
Yeah,
fucking glory? There's no glory
yeah.
You
left,
know,
bro. We're still
the
one of
thing
the most
is,
supported fans, bro.
First,
the
There's
thing
no
is
glory.
when a club stops being good, they still have a period of about 10 years where by osmosis they're being carried by their legacy. That's why United
Bro,
was able to sign players like Pogba, was able to
bro,
sign players when they were really
bro.
not performing that
We,
well,
we
right?
won the
But the
treble
thing
with
is,
Pogba, bro. We won the treble. You can't
no,
say
you
that,
didn't.
bro.
Well,
You
I
can't
mean,
say that.
what
that doesn't
The
count.
Mickey Mouse treble, bro. The Mickey Mouse treble. League Cup, Community
the the
Shield,
the thing the
Europa
thing
League,
is
bro.
the
Can't
thing is
forget
the way
about that.
But the way United's history has gone, Julian, is like you're now in a banter period, right? During Alex Ferguson, you had a very successful period of 26 years. Before Ferguson joined, United hadn't won a trophy or a Premier League at least in over 20 years, right? And then before the era of George Best and the Busby Babes, you also hadn't really won much. So what I'm saying also, that could have been a sub point, is that the period that United's been going through the last 12 years is more the norm than the exception, historically speaking.
Okay, okay, but like
So
before Klopp,
we won
what
the
happened before Klopp? What happened before Klopp? Like before Klopp came, Liverpool was also
No, they
shit.
won.
Yeah.
No, they're good. They're
shit,
a
bro.
good historic team,
No,
but
no, dude. All they had is Bob Paisley, bro. Name me another manager that bought like Bob Paisley. Bob Paisley had a crazy era, but other than Bob Paisley, bro,
Bill
when he was the
Shankly.
manager, who?
Bill Shankly.
And that was also around Bob Paisley's period, bro. You're acting like they're fucking two distinct periods. Bro, if I'm not wrong, they were back to back, no?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were.
See, you fucker, bro. Your argument doesn't
this
stand, bro. That's
this
crazy. Bro,
this
and also,
episode has
I'm not
become
making the argument about Liverpool, bro. No, that's not a question, bro. We're talking about Chelsea, bro. We're talking about Chelsea. Sorry. We're talking about I'm sorry. I'm not trying to diss you, Jake. Like I'm saying Chelsea's a good team, right? And like great team. But
Or
like
Arsenal, like it depends.
oh my God, bro. Before
Chelsea's a bigger
the
club than
2000s, bro,
Arsenal.
Arsenal wasn't even a club, bro. What are you talking right now, bro? You're talking baloney, bro. You know you're talking baloney. What?
No, I mean I think there's a pretty real argument to be made that United's closer to Chelsea than it is to Liverpool. Like I
Okay,
don't
bro,
think that's an
name
outrageous
me
take.
a successful era in Chelsea's history before the 2000s. Please, bro.
In the
Bro, 19
1970s, they won the
what?
Cup
No.
Winners' Cup.
We won what was the Premier League in the 50s, you fuck. Do some
Okay, in the
research.
50s, bro. Bro, bro. I'm with,
1955, baby. On
nah,
the
dude, I'm
book.
out, bro.
First league
I'm gone.
title.
I'm gone, bro. I
First of all,
can't
wait,
argue
can I
with
just
this.
can I just say something? First of all, the rage bait in this episode has been incredible. Phenomenal, phenomenal work, boys. Also,
Pablo's so good in rage baiting, man, to be honest.
for the record, I actually don't agree with Pablo's take, which is why it's crazy that Julian's firing strays at me for no
Yeah,
reason. I
it's
was
true. I'm
backing
sorry.
you
I'm
up,
sorry.
Bly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I don't know, but Dior, Alessandro, like, do you guys want to weigh in? Like, Alessandro, you've been quite quiet, so I don't know if you want to weigh in here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I think no, I don't think. I mean, the recent history of United, yeah, like it hasn't been good. But I think if you take like the big thing for me is the fans, like the fans
Yeah,
and recognition and like the historical status of the club. There's no, I mean, United's. I think Liverpool. I wouldn't put Liverpool above United. I would say that it's the big two. I mean, Liverpool and United is like. If you compare it, every league, every big European league has like two or three top teams, and I don't think there's one like on the top of the other. So like if you Spain, you've got Real and Barca. In Italy, you've got Milan, Juve, and Inter. And well, Bundesliga and Liga, they don't even count.
Sorry.
But all the
Yeah.
big
hey,
leagues,
Wow,
they've got.
hey,
that's a crazy statement.
I mean, you've got what Bayern and Borussia, but Bayern's much bigger than Borussia, and so there's. I don't know. I
I mean,
think.
in France, like PSG
Well,
probably didn't have any fans until like 15 years ago, to be honest. Like,
no,
Yeah.
it had fans. It had fans before that, but I think that's discounting. It's definitely a better example than Bundesliga. I would agree with that. But Marseille is a huge club, and
yeah, I was gonna say
Lyon,
Marseille was super
like,
full.
Leon as well,
and
right?
Lyon is a huge club as well. But anyways, this is a
No,
sub.
I agree. I agree with the fans argument, but why do people become fans of a club? Because they're winning, right? And the thing is, Man United profited from being the best club at the time when you were starting to watch a Premier League
Bro, for like
abroad. Like you couldn't
for
watch a
like
and
Premier League in Asia in
25
the
years,
80s.
bro. For 25 years, I'm sorry, but you're acting like this is like a little like, oh,
Yeah,
it's
but
more
it's
consistent
recency
with Man
bias.
United won everything. Bro, we're talking decades, bro. And you're just like,
25
oh,
years, which by
it's
the
yeah.
true.
way, if we really want to be pedantic about it, United kind of underperformed in Europe in those 25 years, only
Yeah,
winning two Champions Leagues.
Oh,
But that's a
fair.
different
yeah.
hot
That's
take.
that's
Fair.
that's
Yeah,
actually
no,
true.
fair. But
Would
like that
you?
doesn't mean that they're fucking like close to the third, bro. Like I can't entertain this
But you're
anymore.
acting like Chelsea are like a bunch of scrubs. I mean, just
I'm not
because when
acting
they
like Chelsea are a bunch of scrubs, bro. I'm just saying that like you like even if we're talking compared to Liverpool, bro, Liverpool also had like two massively successful eras, right? And even so, bro, even now, dude, how many trophies have they actually won this last 20 years? Bro, one two Champions League, two
But they
Premier Leagues. Bro, what the
But
fuck is that?
also
but they have 20 English titles in their
Yes,
history. Like they're like
yes.
the most
And
famous
Manchester
team.
United also have
Yeah.
20 English titles. What like who has the next most? Like I think Arsenal maybe have like
No,
9, 10.
no, Arsenal was like 13.
I
Okay,
actually don't know
13.
who's third.
And you're saying that United with 20 as well are closer to 13th than they are to what's it?
20.
20, bro. 20. Listen to yourself, bro. That makes
but
no sense, bro. And that's even disregarding the fans. That's disregarding the fans. So, like, I just don't know how you can try to stand on the argument, bro. It makes no sense to me, bro.
but I also would say if you talk about like top five, let's say top six biggest club in Europe, you name like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. Um, then you
Chelsea.
say that no, then you say like also like AC Milan, Inter,
Yeah.
and then Liverpool and Manchester United. Those ones are like the top six biggest clubs. Like I would say, but you will never think about the Arsenal. Like Chelsea is a really good club, but you will not think now. But maybe in 20 years, you will say instead of United, you will say maybe Chelsea. Maybe in 20 years or in 30 years. But now, in the next 10 years, I don't think so. Like you will say that like
For what it's worth, also, by the way, guys, I wasn't making any arguments in Chelsea's favor. I don't know if you realize what
I
Pablo's
know.
doing. Pablo's simultaneously trying to rage bait you and rage
I know, I know.
and make us. I think, for the record, I've said this to Dior. He can back me up
Yeah.
on this. I think Manchester United is like top three biggest clubs in the world in terms of like size and recognition, like
Yeah.
global recognition. I think it's number three. So that's my
Yeah.
opinion. After Barca and Real Madrid, I think those are the two
Yeah.
Yeah.
for me.
I mean, look, all I'm gonna say is that just because when Chelsea won the league in 2005, like the time before that, like Roman Abramovich wasn't even a zygote in his dad's pants. But like other than that, like I think United is falling off, man. I think if you ask this question in 5 years, they might even be behind Chelsea the
So
way
be it. Let's ask this question in 5 years, bro. We're
Yeah.
talking now, bro. And now there is no doubt in my mind, bro. No doubt.
I think it's I
I
liked
mean,
your
we're
I thought you made good points,
we're
yeah.
we're a bigger
Let's
club
talk about
in the 21st century than United, but that's only in the 21st century.
Yeah.
That's also
Bro, we've won two
Yeah.
Champions Leagues in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
time
yeah. I agree.
Definitely, definitely. But still,
and
like
five league
if you
titles. Like
but if you look at Manchester United transfers, Manchester United got those transfers. Like for example, a really good example is Danny Euro. He got an offer from Real Madrid and also from Manchester United, and he chose Manchester United instead of like a different club. It's only because of Manchester United name. Like we know, like still okay, it's Manchester United. Also okay, money of course, but he would get also money in other Premier League teams. So I think like a lot of players are still choosing Manchester United because of its history and
True.
because the
True.
club is just big still.
Same can't be
you
said
look
for
at like the
Roma. No
legacy
one
of the
wants to go to
players.
Roma. That's for sure.
I think United's got about 2 more years of that working though. The only reason why players are joining United is because they're paying higher wages than
that's
everyone
actually a
else,
very
and they're
good
No,
point.
paying higher transfer
I
fees
was
than
gonna say,
no,
everyone
that's
else.
not true. That's not true. That's not
no,
true.
dude,
Like I'm talking as of 1 year. Like before that, yeah, we were paying like 300K to like I don't know whoever
Oh,
fuck.
so what? So
But now
Embuemo is worth like 70 million pounds or whatever you paid for
easy,
him.
bro. Look at that ass, bro. Come on. If we're talking about like stylistic dribbling as close to Messi as seen currently, Mumo's up there for me on par with
He's
Aston.
so good. No, 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 but he's really
Yeah,
good and he's still
yeah,
young as well. Like
yeah.
he's definitely good transfer and he's making a big impact.
he is a
But
good
if
player.
he's but like if he's like you could say Anthony, that would be a good example. Anthony would be
Yeah.
a perfect example. But in Bomo, like
But even like Lenny Yoro, like the only reason why I didn't go to Real Madrid is because they weren't willing to pay the outrageous transfer fee that United paid. Lille accepted the offer from United because it was higher, and Lenny Yoro probably would have not minded going either. But I think it's a bit unfair to say that he chose United over Real Madrid. Like I think he would have been pretty happy going to Real Madrid as well.
He's also definitely paid way more. I think that was a good point. He's definitely paid way more at United than he would have been at Madrid.
and
Like Madrid,
and also he would play in
Yeah,
United. He
yeah.
wouldn't he wouldn't
yeah.
play in Madrid. That's
I
like
mean,
one of the
it'd
reasons
probably
why.
play these days. Madrid's defense is shit these days.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, it's like
Only Militao with like two fucking ACLs is playing
Exactly.
good.
But Alessandro, I think you were trying to jump in.
Yeah, no, I was gonna. I mean, I think another point in favor of United, it was just like the legacy. If you look at the history and the legacy of the players too. I mean, when you think of the big names, and then like the Ronaldos, the Cantonas, the George Bests, the
Ferdinand.
Scott
yeah,
McTominay.
Ferdinand, you've got the kind of that legacy
100%.
status that I think that makes.
That's fair. But do you know what a great legacy, Alessandro, one day? The Lehman Brothers were the best investment bank in the world. And where are they now?
Dude, that just makes sense. That just like what does
Well, it
that?
does because
Yeah, nah,
they
can we
were
please
an
get the
organization with a
next hot
great
take, please?
history.
Next hot take, bro. This guy's doing
Dude,
no
that's just
Okay, okay. Okay,
next
let's
hot
go
take.
on to the next hot
So
take. I
wait,
fully
wait.
Yeah.
agree.
Before we go on, so can we confidently say that the other four of us disagree with Pablo's take
yeah,
then?
yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so
Yeah.
yes.
it's a good hot take then. Fair play.
Okay. Should we go with my hot take, the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So my hot take is it's really hot take. It's about a Barcelona player. It's about Lamine Yamal. that
Oh,
he's gonna have a bigger legacy when he finishes his career. I know it's a hot take, it's a really, really hot take, but for me personally, if I look now, a Messi with 18 years old and a Lamine with 18 years old, if you compare them, what they achieved, Lamine is clear off. Like Lamine played so many caps already for Barcelona. He won the league. He uh he won the Euros and he was the player of the tournament. He scored versus France when he was 16. 16. Like one of the craziest goal ever. He scored like the game versus Inter. Like show me a Messi game with 17 that has this kind of impact of the game. Like all the players, even Petri, everyone was looking on the right side, just passing the ball to Lamine. If you don't know where to pass, you just pass it to Lamine. This
Okay.
game, yeah, was
I
like
have
everything. Like that was insane.
I have one question before we let everyone get into it. So is the claim that by the time, like when you say he's gonna have a greater legacy, you're saying like when it's all said and done, let's say 30 years from now, if we look at the two, that Lamine Yamal is gonna have a better legacy than Messi?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's a crazy take. Fair play.
And also, I'm a Barcelona fan. I'm a Messi fan. But I'm just saying, like, from now, the potential is like, I don't know, like also right now with his injury, but it's getting treated really, really well. So I think it's not gonna bother him like his future because Messi also had like this kind of injury when he was young. So yeah, let's see. Like that's
I
my
mean,
hot take.
I would actually disagree with your point that it's getting treated really, really well. There's actually a huge disagreement right now
Yeah, with
between
the
the
Spain,
Spanish
the
FA
Spanish
and Barcelona.
Federation and him.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a crazy take.
Bro, okay, fair.
I, yeah, I'm trying to take here,
Nah,
man. Like,
dude, come on, bro. That's fucking Pablo, of course, with the fucking crazy takes as well,
I don't
bro.
think people
Pablo,
really like.
You rank Messi so highly as well.
I do, but it's not a crazy take. I mean, if you look at his body of work until the age of 18, it's insane. And the thing is,
Oh,
obviously, what's going to
But
separate him from being a Messi or not is that Messi, first of all, just went on like God mode when he was like
yeah,
24 and scored 91 calendar year goals, right? Like, I don't know if Lamine Yamal has that in him. Maybe he'll score like 50 goals and dish out like 60 assists. I don't know, right? But the thing is, what separates Messi and Ronaldo from players like Hazard, like Bale, like anyone like that is the consistency, right? Like Messi and Ronaldo
definitely.
were able to maintain this consistency for 15 years. Lamine Yamal, although talent-wise, I think he has the potential to reach that level. He does seem like someone that gets a bit distracted by the noise outside of the pitch as well, to be honest, right? Like he,
broke up with
he's
his
someone that's been,
girlfriend, right?
yeah, he's been talking a lot in the media about how Real Madrid is shit and stuff like that. Like Messi
Oh.
and Ronaldo were kind of more on the, well, Ronaldo less, but Messi was very quiet, with this
Yeah,
stuff, more focused on
but
the
like
pitch.
first of all, I'm a Messi fan, but Messi's definitely autistic. So like you can't just like this guy is like, bro, like Messi is this a special kid, and like, but the thing is, you're also comparing a time where the social media game was not that big as for now. You can like for me, the thing about Lamine is like, as you said, like oh, talking shit about Real Madrid in the media. There was in the Kings League and this interviewer asked him specific question to just trigger like those kind of answers and he actually didn't say something really really bad in the interview but like the media is just hyping it up and obviously if you're posting a photo of yourself and saying like oh yeah I'm gonna yeah we're gonna win versus Real Madrid and then you don't perform. Okay, but I think he will learn from this lesson because he's still young. Like he's 18. Like he's 18 and social media, everyone is saying to him like, "Oh, you are the next GOAT." And one time in an interview, someone asked him, "Do you think you're gonna be like better when Messi?" And he was like, "No, no, no, hold on. Like we're talking about Messi, like the greatest of the game. I want to be Lamine. I don't want to be compared to Messi now." And I think that was really really good. That was yeah. But yeah, let's see, Julian. You
Yeah, I
want to
just
say
wanted to,
something?
so I wanted to talk a little bit more about Messi and like what he means for the game, right? So the thing is, I think it's a hard question because, right, like legacy is such a like hard thing to define. I think that's also why we're talking about like perceptions in the media and stuff like that. But like, dude, even though Lamine probably arguably up there with one of the best teenagers of all time, we had a whole episode about that. Check it out on the channel. But I just think what Messi's done for the game and just like he's just revolutionized like football, right? I think the whole play style now, like tiki taka, the way modern football is played is you can argue it's Pep Guardiola, but like a core part of that Guardiola play style was Messi, right? Like he was always there. And then I mean, dude, just the World Cup in 2020, like it's I'm not saying it's not possible for Lamine. I just think statistically speaking, it's going to be extremely hard for Lamine to match what Messi's done. Also, yeah, with the 91 goals, but see, like just so many small things. Was it 8 Ballon d'Ors? Like, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I just think that all things considered, it's going to take a quite literally like once in a millennium like effort from Lamine to be able to catch up to Messi. That's why I don't think that Lamine will have just because I just there's just so much that Messi's brought that I don't know if it can even be matched, right? Like look at Ronaldo's achievements, right, and all that he's brought to the game, and still personally, like whoever's watched football, hands down, Messi for me is the best player of all time, and his legacy stands through. Like so, that's yeah, that's my 5 cents.
I think that was really good, Julian. I was honestly gonna say something similar. I was gonna say off the rip, I think this discussion like went super far left in terms of like what they're doing now about their personalities. For me, like to be honest, in this type of discussion, when we're talking about Lionel Messi, I could give less of a fuck about the player's personality or their antics off the pitch. Lionel Messi is, for me, the greatest player to ever touch a football. Like he's the type of guy that you watch for, who's been on, was the best player in the world for, I'd say, easily 10 years, easily could stretch that to 15 years. And the problem with this, and I don't even think Lamine Yamal is like, I'm not saying that he's not in the same atmosphere as Messi. I'm just saying, dude, if you just look at Messi's output alone, you exclude the fact that he's the greatest dribbler we've ever seen, the most technically proficient player we've ever seen. Bro, he turned it on like his goal scoring switch and assist switch. He turned it on when he was 21 and just never turned it off until he was like 35. And we're talking about like seasons. He normalized the whole thing of like score 50 goals, not even like literally 50 goals. Some of these sometimes being like 45 goals, get like 20 assists. He normalized that alongside CR7. Not only that, for Argentina, the number of goals he scored. I just think for Lamine Yamal, it's, hypothetically, yes, it's possible. But it means Lamine Yamal is going to have to start scoring 40 goals a season comfortably. And that's on the lower end of things. And he's going to need to score 40 goals a season and do that for at least 15 years to even catch up to Messi. Considering Messi's had seasons where he scored like 70 goals in all competitions, 65 goals in all competitions. I don't know. It's just going to be really hard.
What
Yeah, I don't think people realize like what Ronaldo and Messi did to the game in
Yeah.
terms of longevity. Like the way they normal, like just as you said, the way they normalized and made it seem, people think that that was the norm. I mean, no one's. I mean, you've got the Mbappes, the Yamal, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to come close to that level in terms of the consistency and the longevity that they brought to the game. I also wanted to add another thing that I think the way that football has become so focused on money centric too, which wasn't at least, I mean, this then ties into the whole social media game and everything, but the way I don't know, the 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds are getting, multi-million dollar euro contracts. That wasn't the case when I mean, he was getting millions, probably Messi and Ronaldo when they were 17, 18. But I think the impact that that has on a player's, it's not maybe not a like motivation, but like the subconscious of them having that kind of money and that kind of fame and popularity and all this expectation surrounding them at such a young age, which was always the case, but now even more the case with all this social media stuff, which we've seen with Yamal, the way he's been acting with all this, his like 18-year-old part. I think that too is like it doesn't like lay the groundwork for to have a career the Messi and Ronaldo in terms of being what to because to have that kind of career for 15, 20 years, you need like that's the only thing you can think about. Football has to be your life like 24/7. And I think that's impossible for footballers to have now. Like footballers up until 10 years ago could that was literally like they were footballers and that was it. But now with the whole social media game, I think it's impossible for them, especially when you're an 18-year-old, to like lock in 100% the way you could in the past. But
There was also a really nice story of De Rossi from Roma,
yeah,
when he said like after the game, when he saw like someone picking up his phone and like after a lose and taking a photo of himself, he was like freaking out about this because he said like back in the days, no one was like no one pick up their phone and like do a picture after a lose. Like if you lose, you
Yeah.
go and you just be sad, like and think that's like sometimes it is missing after the game because you see directly 1 hour after the game. Maybe it's the social media manager, but sometimes it's like themselves uh posting a story, posting a post, and then you think like take the lose, like why are you posting already now? Just post it the next day. But I get this kind of point.
but I think the mental game is huge, and the fact that I don't know, I think it's impossible nowadays to have that kind of level of
Yeah,
commitment
focus.
and focus, and also the money. Like the money's just become it's completely warped players. Not even maybe intent. Maybe it's not something they even think. I mean, but it can't. If you're an 18-year-old and you're looking at your in front of a contract, 20 million euros, it's like it completely. I mean, it must like
Yeah.
do something to your brain and to your side.
And then
Like,
you also have to think about his Adidas contract that he probably got. Like he got one of the biggest Adidas contracts, maybe
and
like after Messi.
To be
That's
fair,
why
unless
I think
really you've got you need to have something in you that
Yeah.
drives you to then
I
in that
yeah.
situation to then consistently perform for the 15 like I don't know you've got to
I was
be one in
Yeah,
a
I mean, honestly, I was just gonna say, like, I'm honestly admiring the like players are now going to Serie A, right? Where they can't afford these $1 million. I mean, how much was the average wage in Serie A per week? Like 5K, 5, 10K?
oh dude
No,
Euros?
it's way
no
more
no
than that.
no
That was a
Yeah.
violation.
Oh, so I'm
no
just
dude I
saying,
mean
like, Serie A is doing it right, offering these young players a bit lower salaries because, yeah, in the
dude
Premier
but it's
League,
still it
it's
might
just
not be the
crazy
level
money.
of the Premier League but it's still it's
Yeah, I mean,
tens of
maybe
thousands
10,
of euros
10K
a
a
week
week,
yeah
20K a week max. I mean, McTominay's on what, 1 million every 10
No,
years?
he's not. He's on at least like 4 million a year.
I
who
mean, dude, that's pocket change,
Scott
man.
McTominay, yeah, he's making like 3, 4 million a year
yeah
probably.
minimum no,
No, but
wait
anyways, yeah, it's true.
He's the best, yeah.
No, that's fair. Something I do want to say though, in favor of first of all, what a violation from you, Julian. But second of all, something I want to say in defense of Lamine Yamal and in defense of Dior's point more broadly, I guess, is that let's look at this, right? Messi was decisive in decisive moments, but so is Lamine right now, right? Like in that semifinal against France, if he doesn't score that goal from about 25 meters out, Spain might go ahead and lose that game and not win the tournament, right? I'm not saying obviously this is all counterfactual, but Lamine Yamal has a real chance next year at 19 years old to be a winner of a World Cup and a Euros, both
Yeah.
as arguably the player of the tournament. If Lamine Yamal's career goes well and if Spain keeps their team, which
Yeah.
seems pretty good, he has a real chance of winning 2, 3 World Cups, right? Like, yeah, I know that everyone probably said that about Mbappe when he was 18 as well, right? And like it's not guaranteed that you'll win a tournament. But I'm just saying if Lamine Yamal ends his career with like 3 World Cups and a Euros, like that's a strong argument for him being one of the best players in history of football.
Definitely.
Even if he doesn't score 50 goals a season or 60
Yeah.
goals a season.
Yeah, totally.
100%. Because also if you think about there was like Lamine Yamal only had, to be honest, one bad game in the last 2 years for me, and that was the El Clasico. Like that was the like I'm watching every Barcelona game. This guy has only one stinky game, I would say, and that was versus Real Madrid in the El Clasico.
And he was
And
half
those,
injured.
yeah, and he was like exactly, he was not playing on his best, and people don't get it. Like he was injured. Like he's playing on 70% right now. He's not playing on 100% right now. Like it was just like Lamine was not playing at his best. He was playing at 70%, and I think the bad thing that what he did was like saying like, oh yeah, like we're gonna win versus Real Madrid. And to say that if you're not on 100% and also to post a picture in front of the Real Madrid fans, I was like, come on, bro. Like that was the only like for me the bad thing what he did in the media was like this kind of story and then but actually I loved the El Clasico. So much heat. That was one of the best El Clasicos in the last like years in the last El Clasicos. The El Clasicos right now are again like those kind of Clasicos that you got from a feeling with um Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi era. Like you kind of get like those kind of vibes with Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Lamine Yamal, Petri, like those kind of players will make it special again. And I don't know, I love it right now. Like
Just definitely, first of all, the El Clasico coming back has been a great development, especially, and I think Lamine Yamal has contributed severely, like significantly to that. Sorry, not severely. Um, dude, I hate to go back to this again, but my whole thing with Messi, man, is he's now sitting at, I think he's like a couple goals away from reaching 900 career goals, and that's just on like output. Lamine Yamal is so good, man, like so good. I think he's easily like one of the best players in the world and can continue to do so. But when you think of legacy, I feel like you also have to think of Messi. You could just pass him a ball. He could pick it up literally at the halfway line, violate like five guys, score a goal, and look like he didn't even break a sweat. And I love Cristiano. I've told all of you how much I love Cristiano. I've never seen a player. I don't know if anyone's ever gonna reach that legacy that he has in terms of doing literally fucking alien stuff, like alien.
Lamine did it as well in one game.
But
To be
Messi was
fair,
doing it week in and week
yeah,
out, dude. That's the
But
thing. So it's
Lamine's
object,
18, man.
bro.
yeah, yeah.
But
Thank you, Lamine
Pablo.
in
But Messi
18.
was still, and I agree, and for their ages, Lamine is way better than Messi was at that age. I don't think any of us will question that. But Messi from like 21 onwards, man, like he was doing this literally like if
Yeah,
he wasn't
true.
doing it every like he was doing these plays every game, at least one play where he'd just like
Yeah,
dribble through everyone. I've never seen any player in terms of that like quantity and that quality do it like that. I don't know. I just feel like there's
but
certain levels to this. Messi's like God level. I don't know.
yeah, but for me, like the best individual game performance from the Champions League last season was Lamine versus Inter. Name me a player who had a better game with Lamine versus Inter. Like, name
Like
me
last
one
season.
player. Yeah, last season.
Yeah, no, that
Name
was
me,
that was a special game. Yeah.
name
No,
me
that was the
like one
best.
out.
Yeah, for a single performance from a single player
Yeah,
last season. Yeah,
yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
And that's like things he did with 17. Like what? Like like
Yeah,
what
he
we're
he he
talking.
made DiMarco cry when he was
Yeah.
17, you know, it was
We
actually
sucked
insane.
him out, man. We sucked him out. Like he was I I know like Messi is for me the best player ever. Ever. Like definitely 100%. And but for me, like what Lamine is doing with this kind of age, like I never, like no one saw that before. Like if you ask even like the legendary footballers, like if even if you ask Rio Ferdinand, say that like in an interview as well, like that Lamine, like he is the best teenager ever. Like you never saw someone like this before. Like this guy with his skills, with everything what he has, like even I don't know, like for me he's insane. I'm just also I know, let's see with 21, but for now, I'm standing behind my take like that if he keeps going on like this, he's gonna have a better legacy than Messi. I have to
This is
say.
also kind of like a broader point, not specific. I mean, kind of related to the context of this like take, but I don't know where football. I don't see like the average career of footballers I feel as if it's going to shorten more and more. I don't know because I mean, on one side, yeah, you could argue that it'd be longer because of the advances in sports technology, medicine, and all of that. But also the number of games they play, like the
Yeah.
intensity with which footballers play. I don't think how I don't know how feasible it's going to be for them to have those 10, 50. I mean, then specifically related to Yamal, how feasible he's like if they're playing what 70 games a season, uh doing that. I mean, it's inevitable that the average quality of the games go down and even of your output because playing that many games year in, year out, and with the injuries, I mean, there's definitely been an increase. I mean, I don't know the statistics for sure, but anecdotally, I'm sure that there's been like an increase in injuries over the past 5, 6, 10 years just because of the number of games played and also the physicality of football. I mean, so I don't know that I think that'll also be that might play a factor in determining whether any player, let alone Yamal, will be able to then, have that 10, 15 career, 10, 15-year career that will allow them to then, surpass the levels of Messi and Ronaldo. Um,
He's
yeah,
yeah.
No,
that
that's
was,
fair. That's fair. But I mean, on the other side of the coin, and I think this is again to not wanting to say the thing is, by how I'm arguing this, it sounds like I'm not a fan of Messi. I do believe Messi is the best player that I've ever played. I don't even think it's that close with respect to Ronaldo personally. And I was lucky enough to see him play in person once. But that being said, Lamine Yamal also doesn't really have as much of a rival as Messi had with Ronaldo, right?
Fair.
So
Yeah.
there's a pretty, even if he doesn't score 50 goals a season, maybe you could say Mbappe, like now the way he's been playing at Real Madrid this season is going to be a rival, but Lamine Yamal could win 8 Ballon d'Ors if he continues at this level. Like that's not
Yeah.
unreasonable.
The 17
That's
second in the Ballon d'Or. Like,
that's
come on.
That's also why, but even though that's a good argument in favor of Lamine Yamal cementing his legacy, dude, that's actually a fucking great argument in favor of Messi's legacy. Because this and Ronaldo as well, you delete either one of them from history, and the other one has 12, 13, 14
Yeah.
Ballon d'Ors. Like
Yeah.
True.
like not even a discussion. Like Messi would have, if Ronaldo didn't exist, he'd have what? Probably
yeah,
12,
but
15
maybe
Ballon
they wouldn't
d'Ors.
have, maybe without one of the others, they wouldn't have pushed each other to the
Yeah,
level they
as
did.
Yeah.
well. Yeah, it's a good point. But I
I
think the
mean,
two of them,
I mean,
yeah.
Lamine, they could definitely. I mean, in the next 2 years, we could have another wonder kid, and then that becomes the rival of Yamal. I mean, it's not.
I
Yeah.
am afraid
Italy,
of
hopefully.
I'm afraid of him getting injured though. I think that's a good point. I'd be really afraid like just for the sake of football for him to like be overplayed. And I know Pedri
Mm.
is fine now, but Pedri and Gavi, for example, like these Barcelona and Spain have an issue with overplaying young players. Like I think that's
Yeah.
not a controversial take. That's been like a big discussion between that's been an argument between Barcelona and the Spanish national team is that like Pedri dude like didn't he was injured for what an entire season because he got fucking ran into the ground from playing so many games. I'm just afraid of that happening to Lamine as well, you
But
know?
Yeah, but
The Pedri thing though, it's also in my opinion Spain's fault because in
That's
2021
what
they
I'm
made him
saying.
play both the Euros and the Olympics. But I
yeah.
do think
You're
Barcelona
gonna
has a
do it.
problem with
Yeah.
they don't because Barcelona is not being run particularly well in my opinion right now, right? And because of Barcelona needs to kind of reach the levels of Real Madrid or at least stay on the same level. But financially, they're kind of hamstrung with respect to Real Madrid. So when they have a
Yeah.
player like a Gavi, like a Pedri, like a Lamine Yamal, they kind of need to play him a lot more. Like in Real Madrid, for example, they gave Arda Güler, for example, they gave him a lot of time to develop. Now he's coming out, now he's actually playing really well. But they gave him, he was an 18-year-old kid when he joined Real Madrid and needed some time to grow into his body even, right? Because when you're 18 and you're playing against like 35-year-old defenders from like Athletic Bilbao, that their parents are probably like lumberjacks or something and like they're built like brick shit houses. It's not easy, right? And that's the problem that Pedri had, or Gavi. Like Gavi got his ACL snapped like a twig because he's playing against these like really strong defenders
Yeah.
and that's a problem with young players more broadly. But the thing is, our argument, right, or Dior's argument that I'm kind of subscribing to is that in an ideal world, there is the potential that Lamine will end with a better career than Messi. Because you guys talk about
No,
Messi
he
and
said
Ronaldo
legacy
pushing.
though. He said
Fine,
legacy, not
a better
career.
legacy as well. Because the thing is, you talk about Messi and Ronaldo pushing each other, but like, what about Lamine? Like, he grew up in a house that Messi built with Barcelona. You don't think that he has a poster in his room with Messi's 8 Ballon d'Ors and
Yeah.
he's like every day trying to get there? Like, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that he's going to, but I think there's definitely the possibility that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think any of us would be insane to say there's zero possibility. There's definitely a possibility. And I think with Barcelona, it's kind of tough because they're caught in this like catch 22, right? Where you have one of, if not the best player in the world, so you want to play him, right? Like you play him because he's going to perform every game, he's going to destroy defenders, but then you also are afraid, fuck, he's an 18-year-old kid. What if I overplay him? What if I ruin my best asset who's worth like he's probably worth what, like €1 billion? It's
Oh,
Yeah.
like
the
so
GDP
you're
of a
Yeah,
stuck
small
in this
country.
like you're stuck between like a rock and a hard place where you want to play the best player because he's the best
uh,
player, but he's 18. Do you want to avoid overworking him? Are you afraid of ruining your best asset? It's a hard position. I mean, it's a
yeah,
good
but
position to be in, but it's hard.
also I think like for example, I think the El Clasico is a good example. You saw like a Vinicius Junior got subbed out in the 17th minute, but a Lamine Yamal not. And I think that's like some kind of things that we don't know personally because we are not in the internal things. Maybe something is written in his contract that this guy, like, if he's not playing, like he needs to play, and he gets subbed out earliest in the 18th minute. Even if I think that's like the the problem with like those kind of young players is that they're so hungry, they don't even understand themselves and think like, okay, I have to play because I'm the best, and it's really hard then to tell them like, hey, like this game you need to be on the bench. Like it's
Yeah.
because also how do you gonna change it? Like how to like you're gonna put like this new guy Ronnie as a right wing, like, and he's gonna be like the Lamine Yamal sub. Nah, it's too
Yeah.
hard. Like with Rashford, it's perfect. Like you had Rafinha, so good. But then like Rashford came, Rashford is so good. Like Rashford is like right now probably like one of my top three players in at Barcelona right now because he's consistent. He's doing every game assist or a goal. He was the only player who scored. He was the only good player in the El Clasico, for example, from the Barcelona side. But yeah, like I think Lamine is just if he's not getting injured, of course, like Messi, I think still he's gonna have a bigger legacy. But yeah, again,
Fair.
I think it's
A
gonna
hot
be
take. It's a
uh,
good take. It's an interesting discussion. Should we hear Alessandro's?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, mine moves away from all the kind of the how to say the pure footballing, like it's more about the rules of the game. So my hot take is basically to introduce an orange card, so between like a yellow and a red card, for those borderline fouls, where you get like a 5 minute expulsion from the match, and then you come back in after 5 minutes. Uh, yeah, I think there are a few. I think, well, does the NBA have? I think there are a few sports that do some kind of
Yeah,
like
like a
Um,
similar.
sin bin.
the
Yeah,
NHL, yeah, the sin bin, but the NHL does that, which is professional hockey. They do that.
and then
and
there's
EA Sports as well and Rush.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it's called a sin bin. Pablo's right, and it's used in some of the lower leagues and some of these creator leagues as well. They use
I
it.
it's
mean,
also used in five-a-side. At
yeah,
Is
least
maybe,
is it
yeah.
in futsal?
I
Is it in
used
professional futsal?
when I was playing, I played a few five-a-side tournaments, and I remember that was like it wasn't 5 minutes because that's too long, but I think it was at least 1 or 2 minutes. Anyway, we're going off topic here, but it was kind of yeah. I so my take would be to introduce it into 11 aside, like top tier, top league, international.
The thing is, I don't hate it. The only thing that I'm gonna ask you is how would you police like how would you what is an orange card foul, right? Because like
I,
is it like
yeah.
a studs up challenge should be a red in my opinion, right? But like
You
How would
know,
you police that with VAR? Like, would VAR become less important as a result of having that yet? Like, I think it would be super subjective, and you could say
I
like
think
it's super subjective already anyway, but even more so with the middle
that
ground.
that I think that's my main point. I mean, there are definitely times in which we've all watched.
exactly.
I mean, there are times in which like it's a clearly a red and there's nothing you can do. Like, okay, and then there are other times where it's a clearly a yellow. And then I mean, there are lots of time. I mean, even commentators. I mean, it's like, talking about. I mean, I've mostly watched Italian games. I remember there have been lots of times where they say, "Oh, this is an orange carta."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cartellino arancione, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it is definitely. I agree, it is subjective, but already the red card is somewhat subjective. And then I think there are other instances in which like the blended, so whether it be like not like a clear, like last man standing. In some cases, obviously, it's a clear red card, but in other cards, in other cases, it might not be a clear chance on goal, but you know,
So I was
but
going to say the easiest example I can think of is if a player is already on a yellow and they commit a foul that's like a yellow worthy foul, but not a yellow worthy foul enough to get a second yellow. Does that make sense? Like that
yeah,
happens a lot in football. Once a
yeah,
player
yeah,
has a yellow card,
that's actually a good point. Yeah,
I think that's the perfect example for what you're describing because once a player already has a yellow card, right? It's very common in football that they'll commit another foul that if they had zero cards, they would get a yellow card for, but because they're already on the yellow, the
yeah,
referee's like,
yeah,
"Fuck, do I give them a red? It's going to change the game." I think that's the perfect example to give them an orange card and have them, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be also a debate like the handball. Like people's going to say like for some referees it's going to be orange, but for some other referees it's going to be a red card. And then like you're going to have like those kind of debates like right now with the handball, which is eight, like that you sometimes don't know, okay, this is a handball clearly. So, and then no handball. And sometimes you think like, okay, this is not a handball. And then we're giving a penalty. So I think it's gonna be yeah
I think it'll add more controversy to football. I mean, to kind of piggyback off of your point, Jake, I think also there's a lot of cases where someone gets a yellow and then they're on a yellow and they like commit a tactical foul and they get a second yellow and people are like, "Oh, that's so harsh." But like the thing is playing with a yellow card should be a handicap, right? Like
yeah
a yellow card is like that's your warning. Like that's like if you do this again, you're out, right? So I think people, especially in the modern football of like Pep, like this is especially started since Pep has been coaching. Players get yellow cards all the time for tactical fouls at just like they're nothing, right? Because then they just get subbed out or something. Like a yellow card for me is already a pretty big punishment, right? Because it means that you have to really be careful. Like you can't go into that challenge or you can't do this or you can't do that because the risks are so much higher than if you don't have a card at all. So I don't know. I don't see how adding an orange card would really add much. Like I do agree with you both that there are specific situations in which a foul is too harsh. It's like worse than a yellow and not bad enough for a red. But I just think that's too it's not frequent enough for it to merit a rule change.
Dude, I think it's definitely freaking enough. Or like you watch any football game,
yeah,
that
yeah,
happens all the time, dude. Even when I like,
yeah.
granted, I don't play at a pro level, but even when you play football, like 11 aside, dude, that's super common. A player fucking gets a yellow card and then they put in another tackle that they know they can commit because they're already on a yellow, and therefore the ref would have to kind of. Anyways, but if we're only talking about pros, I think that happens all the time, man. If you watch Premier League, that happens like, granted, it's a more physical league. That happens like several times a match,
I
I'd say.
think I think another thing, like aside from complicating it, and yeah, I agree that, but I think a cool thing too about that is that you would have 5 minutes in a game where there's like 10 versus 11, so it could
Yeah,
also
true.
spice up the
That's a bit
game.
gimmicky though, I think. Like it's like Americanizing the sport. Like you're just like throwing like a little like why do you like make the goalkeeper wear like gardening gloves
True,
as
but
well
it's
for
it's
10
I
minutes?
mean, first of all, like it's quite common to have, I mean, not super common, but it does happen that you play half a match with one man down. So it's not
Yeah,
like you're not like completely revolutionizing. And it's also just for 5 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes, a lot can happen in 5 minutes in the game too, but I don't know. I think it could be
I
an
don't
extra
hate it.
I
to
think I, I think
spice it up.
Yeah, but you need to think if it's five aside 5 minutes, it needs to be an 11 aside. It needs to be at least like 15.
They would make it 10, I
15.
think. I think they would make it 10, like if they did it. It's like
Yeah.
the perfect time.
Because
Sorry, yeah,
five,
go
because
ahead.
then the team that
Yeah.
was down would just like waste time for like
Yeah, yeah,
5 minutes,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the time wasting would get worse.
like you
That's
think
the
yeah.
like you
Because
think
that's I
like
think the most valid point so far is the
if that happened
time
to Atletico
wasting.
Madrid, like they would play like 30 seconds out of the next 5 minutes.
yeah,
Like
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the most valid point. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
that's a really, really
I
good
mean,
point.
my
Yeah.
my my main point as well is that if I had one rule to change in football, it definitely wouldn't be this. Like what I would do, for example, I would make diving a red card offense personally. Like that would get rid of diving
But
so
how do you
quickly.
prove it?
Yeah,
How do you prove
that's
that they're
too.
diving is the
VAR,
problem.
VAR against VAR,
But
right?
even with VAR, like if a player actually trips, let's say, like they actually like accidentally trip on their own foot, which is rare, but it happens, are you gonna fucking card them
No,
because
no,
it looks
no.
like they
But we can say
dive?
this. No, no. But we can just put the
Yeah.
hands up and be
But then
like,
they're gonna do
hey,
that every time, even when they dive, dude. You're gonna have people diving and raising
No,
their
because
hands
when
up.
they dive, they try to like get the penalty and they like roll
yeah,
around and like clutch their
yeah,
head or clutch the
yeah,
wrong leg or
yeah,
something,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Busquets, So it's just
Actually,
I
in
don't know.
terms of a rule that I would actually change now that I think about it too, is allowing keepers to handle the ball with their hands outside the box.
What? Okay.
that's
What do
actually
you
like
mean?
somehow a worse take than the previous. How
I don't
how
know,
how
man.
would
I
that
think that
help?
could be pretty. That could be. I mean, it would involve the keeper a lot more defensively.
But
So
then they
it,
could just grab the ball and like take it to the other box and like
Then they're
shoot it
just
in the goal.
no,
dead
no,
ass
sorry,
playing water
sorry,
polo.
sorry. Let me explain. Not like like properly like pick up and, but I meant like like punch out or when they not like pick up. But you have to make a distinction between like I mean that becomes too complicated. You're right now because then it's hard to distinguish picking up
But
and
then what about so what the goal Donnarumma can just go to like midfield circle and like punch the ball
no,
like
no,
into the other goal.
I meant more for like I meant like sweeper keepers.
I know what he means. He means
No, I
Yeah,
like
get it. I'm
I,
I'm being
I think
facetious. I get it.
I
Yeah.
think you're saying like for example, they're in a one-on-one situation and they run out past, but they meet them and they're like, let's say
yeah,
25 meters away from the goal. They're still allowed to save the ball with their hands, is the type of
exactly.
thing you
Yeah,
mean.
that's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
I
Yeah.
kind of disagree with that just because I think it makes it like it makes it more a skill-based thing, right? Like someone like Neuer that comes off his line super quickly, that takes a skill that most people don't have, right? I don't
But
know.
that's just because that's the way the sport is. If you
With
change the
with
rules,
those rules, Neuer would be the GOAT,
Yeah.
bro.
he's already the goat. So
No,
Yeah, I
that's
mean that's a
awesome.
topic for a different video, I think. But I would say no, I mean Alessandro, I don't hate it, this idea of having an orange card, but first of all, I think the time wasting is already a big issue. Like especially in like Serie A, for example, they play about half the minutes because of time wasting. That would
What?
become
It's
10
that
times
low?
worse. It's about well, it's mo in most leagues it's about 50 actual minutes of
yeah.
football out of the 90. And the thing
Yeah.
is this it would just become so much worse because the team that got an orange card would just waste the whole time. It's like waste the whole time, and yeah, I don't know. That's
Well, then what do you, I'm not saying I subscribe to this viewpoint, but since we're just opening it up to rules discussions, what do you guys think of the idea that they make it not even 90 minutes, they make the game 60 minutes, but they start and stop the clock? What do
I
you,
actually would agree with that. I think that would be
yeah,
interesting. I think it would
because
be
that's what a
perfect.
hard.
lot of,
It would be
that's what a
hard to
lot of people,
convince. It would be hard to convince football fans though, because they see it as like this pure thing, like 90 minutes, like it's really ingrained into the fabric of what football is. But in terms of like actually making the sport more entertaining, I would absolutely subscribe to the idea of having time that stops when the goal. That would eliminate time wasting because there's no advantage to
yeah,
it.
well, that's the main argument for it is that it would eliminate time wasting and it makes the game more like viewable. Literally, my only concern is that if they start doing that, they're going to start putting in ad placements when the time
Yeah,
stops. And like, that's literally,
they already do it. Yeah,
I
they
would
already.
accept this rule right now. I agree with you, Pablo. I like think it would be sick, but then we're gonna get like a Bud Light commercial for 30 seconds. Like, dude, I don't want that.
It's a bit like the what I was saying before about the Americanization of sports. Like if you do that, it will be replaced with ads. That's just a guarantee. Because the thing is, the games will last less. They'll last maybe instead of 90 minutes, 70 minutes,
Mhm.
and you'll just they'll find ways to like make up for that. And the last thing I want to do when I'm watching a football game is like them cutting like in the break when someone's doing subs to like a Bud Light ad or
They
something
already
like
do
that.
that, man. Yeah? They already do that.
But they don't
Yeah.
cut away from the game. They have them in parallel. Like they
Yeah,
don't
but
like
Yeah.
still, I mean, it's yeah,
which
yeah.
that's fine. I mean, the thing is, I remember watching the Super Bowl, and it's interesting. It's a cool family event, but like the amount of ads there, like I just feel like people are
It
watching the
ruins
ads are
it.
more prominent than the actual game. Like,
That's why I
or
hate.
basketball as well.
Yeah,
Every time there's a timeout, there's like 5 minutes of ads. Like it's just it's
yeah.
not a pleasurable experience. And especially
Well,
like, what about people at the stands, right? When you're just like waiting while the players are just like sitting down, like waiting for the ads to go. Or, I don't know. I think
well,
that
no,
that's the issue.
they do games for the people at the stands, by the way. They do like they'll have like a camera game going on.
I
Like
know, but to be honest, I don't go to football to watch like a friggin'
no,
like
I agree. And
let
for the record,
the let the like kids
I've
score for like midfield, you know? Like I
dude,
don't
I've said no, no, but not just that. They'll like flash the camera around and do kiss cams, things like that.
yeah, the
For the
CEO
record,
of like
this is the reason I can't. What you're describing is what I've always subscribed to since I was 7 years old, and the reason I cannot stand American football or American baseball is exactly for the reason you're describing. But yeah,
what do you think, Dior,
About what exactly?
the
about
60
having
minutes
like
thing.
60-minute games with like stopping and starting the timers?
Um, no, for me it's like a really, really good point. Like it makes sense to do. Uh, Even like right now, the referee's already stopping the time sometimes. If we say injury and then
Yeah, like he
because
like points to the
They
watch.
added
yeah,
they added onwards afterwards.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's like already something what is really good. But I don't know, like it's also I don't know if you do like what is time play exactly? Like you need also to have a real definition about time play, you know? Like that's the thing about the 60 minutes rule. I think then like people are saying like, oh no, this was not time play, for example. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's a bit complicated.
yeah, and also one last thing I'm gonna say, which might not be the most relevant, but I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, Ireland scoring that like last minute
95th
plus
minute,
like 3 minutes
96th minute.
at the end.
It was the
Like
My
that
96th minute, dude.
boys, my
but yeah,
boys.
but that wouldn't take happen in this kind of football because if you're like keeping the time, you'd be super strict. So like when the last second is over, the game's over, right? You wouldn't have that
Yeah.
last like heave where like
That's
the goalie like lumps the ball up and everyone's just going
Dude,
for it,
that's
right?
true. But if you have like a big, on the flip side, and I fully agree, but on the flip side, if you have a big ass clock in the stadium and you see there's 5 seconds left and you've got like a Yaya Toure picking it up, ripping a shot from like 30 meters away, that would create some pretty hype
That's
moments
true,
as
but
well.
no, I
I
agree. But if
was
you have
thinking
five
about the
seconds,
NBA.
yeah.
It's like literally the NBA,
Yeah.
but it's not possible for
But it's
football.
hard in football because the thing is you can't just shoot the ball from midfield. Like that's just not gonna happen, right? So in NBA you can heave a
No,
half quarter and maybe
no, I
it'll go like
know.
sometimes it goes in, you know?
But that's why it would be so hype, dude, because if you do score a goal, like a crazy goal in the last like 3 seconds of the game, that would be,
No,
yeah.
that's fair. But the thing is, like watching that Ireland goal in the same day that Italy got absolutely destroyed by Norway, like that just made me fall in love with football again. Because seeing that, like how much the literal last kick of the game, right? The
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
chance, like the overtime had been finished. Probably Hungary was pissed about that, right? But the fact
Yeah.
that that can still happen and you have those moments, I think that
Yeah.
that's worth some of the time wasting sometimes, you know?
Bro, it's
I
been a
agree.
crazy week, like especially if you think about the Portugal game. First of
Yeah.
all, this guy
Portugal
scored
was
two goals. Got
I mean,
two goals.
Troy Parrott scored
Crazy.
5 goals in 2 games. It's crazy.
Yeah, but like the emotion, like because I'm living in Dublin and the people here went crazy yesterday. Crazy. Like
Yeah.
especially also I went to the pub for the Portugal game and the emotion that you saw on those people, like I don't know.
I mean,
nine
it's
zero.
probably like a level
Game
of
one.
celebration comparable to winning like a tournament almost. Like because Irish
Yeah,
people have been starved of that kind of experience for
Dude,
so long.
Irish
yeah.
people don't forget either. When I was living there with Dior, it's slightly off topic, but
Oh
people
yeah.
still bring up the Thierry Henry. Like, I was like, bro, it's been like 15 years. Let it go.
The hand of God. I mean, that was a pretty big deal, I think, for them, you know.
Oh,
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was That was huge, I remember.
Bro, it was real. I mean, it was
I
a
mean,
get for
it was
goal.
outrageous. He just literally like palmed the ball, like he, like properly handled it.
It's
VAR
like
would
on
have
the
chalked
same
that
it's
off.
like on the same level as the Maradona one,
Yeah.
if not worse, to be
Oh,
honest. But
I think it's way worse to be honest, because like it was just I don't know. No, the Maradona one was pretty bad as well.
Maradona one was pretty bad, man.
And Suarez had also incidents like this, or not? Similar one?
Who?
He had the Ghana save with his
Yes.
hands, but
Yeah,
he's
but that
never
was like
scored.
properly punished. He probably should have got an orange card, maybe, according to these
No,
new.
you get a red card for that. I think that's like one of the that's a rule that I hope never change. If you're not the goalkeeper and you stop the ball on purpose with your hands, I think that should just
yeah.
straight red.
That
Like
should be
that
like a
type of stuff.
5 match ban, in my opinion, as well.
I remember, dude, but Dior's right about the handball because I remember he just reminded me of Dior crashing out over the Cucurella
Oh yeah,
handball
that
against
was
Germany.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like
but trust me, like as a German, you will never forget this kind of moment.
that's
Bro, he
also an
was
Never in
orange
my
so
life.
card.
pissed.
I will never forget this kind of moment. And that's why with those kind of rules, it's
I mean, because I
I
think
don't know.
Germany would have won that Euros as well if they'd gone through against Spain.
They were really good. They're really good.
Yeah. Musiala in Wirtz
Yeah,
cooking. Oh my
You
but
guys
God.
were really
Cucurella,
Cruz, Tony Cruz last tournament as
Yeah.
well.
And he played so good as well. Yeah.
He
Oh
was so
man.
good that entire year leading up to yeah. Anyways,
damn, that's a sour note to end on for Dior, but a happier one for Spain fans, I guess.
yeah, man. All right,
Yeah.
well, thank you everyone for tuning in today. This has been obviously a very lively session of hot takes, and I'm certain we'll be making this a regular series going forward. Hopefully you enjoyed, and please leave a comment if you agree with someone, disagree with someone. If you have any hot takes of your own that you think are spicy, maybe one day we'll make an episode where we react to other people's hot takes. I think that would be a lot of fun. And if not, yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
guys.